Hey guys, we're doing a quick video about defined benefit and defined contribution plans. We're going to talk about stock plans too, coming up. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Sean. Happy New Year. If you're new here and you're looking to get your financial situation back on track or even improve a good one, you've come to the right place. I am tracking my journey to financial freedom, hoping what I learn helps you guys along the way. And today, I'm not talking about any stocks, but I did want to do a little bit of a money management video to talk specifically about defined benefits, which is a pension plan versus a defined contribution plan. I'll talk about company stock plans, and I'll do a little reveal now that we've busted the 800 subscriber mark. Actually, we're over 900 already, but I will reveal what my stock plan value is and add it to my net worth. So we have a lot to do. Let's get to it. All right, this first section of this video, I want to just talk about pension plans versus defined contribution plans and what the differences are. It's worth understanding at least how this works. You're probably going to be signed up for it if your company has one. They're great tools, great things to add to your retirement and to your security for your wealth later in life, but it's important you understand what they are. So I'm going to go over the differences and similarities of a defined benefits or pension plan versus a defined contribution plan. Here we go. So the first thing to know is both of these are kind of retirement tools. Now, a defined benefits plan is paid for by the company, whereas the defined contribution plan is paid in part by you and matched by the company. It differs from company to company. Some will match, 50-50. Some will do a little bit better. That's set up by your company, but essentially you are putting in a little bit and the company will put another amount as well. And both of those things together are your contribution. Both of these plans will have some kind of automatic enrollment. Maybe after a certain number of years, you automatically get put into one of these plans. My company, after 10 years, you get enrolled from the defined contribution to a benefits plan. So keep that in mind. If you have the option, sometimes you get switched from one to the other. Both of these might require some kind of vesting. And vesting is essentially spending a certain amount of time at the company before you can reap the rewards of these two different types of plans. So I worked at a company before where you had to work for 2 years in order to be able to even get at this money, even if you left the company. I left the company 3 years after that, and because I was vested, I actually was able to take that sum of money and put it into a Lira account. We'll get to that later. This is going to be somewhere in the fine print. Some companies don't have any vesting at all, but it's good to know about it. Go and check yours as you make your decisions. Now, here's another fundamental difference. A defined benefits plan uses a formula to determine your pension. So it's usually a certain number of years of service and a formula involving your salary for the last few years at the company. And from those numbers and a little bit of math, it'll give you what your expected pension will be. And that pension typically doesn't increase. It is set at the time of your retirement, and you go from there. A defined contribution plan is a lot more straightforward. It's essentially a percent of your current salary over X number of years of service. It's like it's being put into a bank account for you on the side, and whenever it is you leave, whatever sum of money you have, you can take as a lump sum. Speaking of leaving the company, I guess is my next bullet. There's a couple things that you should know about each of these plans. First off, the most straightforward is a defined contribution plan. By the end of your career, you're just going to take that lump sum of money and you're going to decide if it's in a retirement vehicle. I'm going to put it in my Lira. I'm going to put it maybe into my RSP to try to avoid some taxes, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just a lump sum, and that's your only option. Now, the defined benefits or pension plan is where it can get kind of tricky. Some plans will just straight up offer you a pension. They'll straight up just give you an annuity. Now, remember, annuities don't appreciate, so they will just stay the same as you go on in life. However, some plans give you the option of taking a lump sum versus taking the annuity. Now, my company personally, I don't believe has a lump sum, but it's just a pension plan, so I don't calculate this into my net worth for when I leave. However, if I did leave this company before the end of my career, I would have the option to take a lump sum and put it into my Lira account. Now, there are 3 factors I can think of if you are at the end of your career and wondering which option to take, lump sum or the annuity. One is staying in the pension plan and taking an annuity going to give you any sort of health benefit. Do you get to keep the company's health benefit by staying and receiving a pension versus taking the lump sum? It's an important question to ask, and that could swing what you want to do. The second is the financial health of the company. Will the company be around through the rest of your life, the next 20, 30 years, and be able to continue to pay the pension for you? Now remember, a company like Sears, once they were dissolved, anybody who was on the Sears pension plan was SOL, didn't get a pension. So if you think that might happen to your company in the next couple of decades, and if nobody has a crystal ball, but you may vote for taking the lump sum instead of the pension plan in that scenario. Finally, the other question you have to ask yourself is, could you do better than the pension plan if you took it as a lump sum? As an investor, can you take that lump sum and make as much or more money than what you would receive as a pension? And remember, when you're later in life, you're going to be investing more conservatively than you would be in your 20s and 30s. So if you think you can do that, you might have some options here, but it might be difficult to do if you consider how old you'll be when you start to take this lump sum on. But definitely worth doing the calculation. Okay, so that's what I've got for defined benefits and defined contribution plans. What about company stock plans, or ESPPs? ESPPs stand for Employee Stock Purchase Plans, and they usually are some kind of benefit or give employees some sort of discount to these sorts of preferred shares of the company that they work at. It's pretty typical to see employers offer employees about a 15% discount at buying the stocks. And the nice thing about these is stocks are bought, an amount is bought on every paycheck, so you're sort of dollar cost averaging automatically, and hopefully as the stock increases over time, you're reaping the benefits of that. So my company in particular offers me $1 for every $4 of stock that I put in. So essentially that's like a 20% discount. I take that every time, it's free money, and in a situation like March in 2020 when the stock took a big dive of about 20-25%, I wasn't panicked because essentially that's the amount that was discounted to me anyway. So I kept things as they were, and of course, things came back, thankfully, but it provides you with that peace of mind because a lot of it is essentially free or given to you by your company. Now, there's one thing to look out for with these, and that is if you stay at the company for a long time and never touch this account, you may end up having too much of your net worth into that one stock. Now, I'll use myself as an example again. I've been growing this money and participating in the stock plan for about 6 or 7 years, I think. And so I now have a sum in there that needs to be looked at or distributed differently. I have it set up in an RSP account, which is equivalent to a traditional IRA. And so what I will have to do is sell some of that stock and transfer it over to my Questrade accounts that also have the same type of account. I can do it through the back door, through a transfer, so I don't get taxed on it. So just keep in mind that you may want to open your own account with your broker in order to be able to sell off some stock when the price of your company stock is high, and make sure that you're not too heavily invested in that one company. Now, finally, let me reveal what that account worth is to you. We'll add it to my net worth now. So I've been working at companies since 2011. I've been in the stock plan since 2014. I know that the stock price has kind of gone up and down a little bit, but it was from about $40 to $55 now. It has come down more recently. So we'll add that $57,000 to the rest of my net worth. Right now, my TFSA is sitting at 121.8, RSP at 87.3, Lira at 55.5, and my margin account at 29.5, and that gives me a total of $351,900 so far for my net worth. That is basically all the money that I have in investment accounts right now. There are still two big pieces that we need to talk about, and one of them is already unlocked because we've passed the 900 subscriber mark, and that one is going to be about this house and whether we call it an asset or a liability. Do we count it as part of our net worth? How does that work? I'll do a video on that and kind of discuss the two sides of that argument. And the final thing I want to talk about is net worth when it comes to being in a household with your partner. And so, of course, Natalie's got a bunch of things that she's been looking into and she's been investing in that will be making up part of our net worth too. So it's important to discuss goals with your partner. And that was our last video. We talked about our financial goals for this year, and just getting onto the same page with them is important to reach any household's financial goals. So those are two big things. We'll do that one at 1,000 subscribers. I think we'll get there pretty quick here. So I'm excited to do those for you. In the meantime, we'll do some more investment videos, but I don't want to make this video too long, guys. So until next time, have a great week. Spread the wealth. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.